So we're a few days into the current Mercury retrograde season, and it is Mercury retrograde in Aquarius, and this season will end on the 21st of February. And I wanted to talk about this one because it's significant, and it's mostly because it's in Aquarius. Firstly, Mercury loves to go retrograde in Aquarius. There's a, as I explain it, you'll see why. Mercury going into a different part of its cycle, the backwards retrograde part of its cycle, in the avant-garde eccentric sign of Aquarius, it just makes sense and it can be a lot of fun. But why is this Aquarius? Why is Aquarius so significant right now? We've just started a 20-year meta cycle, which was kicked off the 21st of December last year, when Saturn and Jupiter, which in ancient astrology are seen as markers of shifts in time. Every 20 years this happens, but it happened at the 0 degree of Aquarius in 2020, in this mega year of the breaking down of power structures, the restructuring of the fundamental fabric of society. It's so obvious that's happening. Astrologers have been talking about this years before it happened. So that Jupiter-Saturn conjunction at the 0, the initiating degree of Aquarius, was a big activation. So we're literally moving into really new cycles. You hope you can feel this for yourselves, and that's why I wanted to speak about Mercury retrograde in Aquarius, because it's a time to think about things in a really different way. Mercury rules our minds. Mercury is the planet of communication, of the way it's how we connect the dots and organize our thinking and our thoughts and our, the social media, the way we message with each other and interact and engage with each other and connect with each other. So Mercury, as I said before, going retrograde, it happens 3 times a year, and it's always an opportunity for us to shift it up, to pattern interrupt. This is why things like, emails can go missing. This is why, technology can go funny, because it's that, hey, pattern energetically, it's a pattern interrupt. So Aquarius, what does this rule? Aquarius is the sign of the water bearer, which is pouring the water of equality throughout humanity. There is a purification. Aquarius is still an air sign, and Mercury loves moving through the air. So Aquarius is also about humanitarianism, equity. It's not equality, it's equity, fairness. It is eclectic. It is eccentric. Aquarius is about innovation. It's thinking differently, seeing it from another perspective. It does care about others, but not in an emotional way. It's logical. Aquarius likes to see how it all comes together and is very aware that of the individual's place within the community. It can in the shadow be separating out and too individualistic, but in its highest expression, it's I'm an individual. I'm going to sort myself out so I can contribute more to the collective. And that's when it becomes humanitarian. So with this Mercury retrograde in Aquarius, this is an opportunity to really think outside the square. As Einstein said, you cannot solve problems at the same level they were created. This Mercury retrograde season is a moment, an opportunity for you to embrace the energy, to harness this time, and to actually allow yourself to look at your current problems, situations, roadblocks. There's also some very heavy karmic astrology playing out, and has been for over 12 months now. Many people that I'm seeing in my business, they are still dealing with this. A big karmic ripening's been happening. But this Aquarian energies that are cycling in now, we've just had Venus move into Aquarius 2 days ago. So the goddess is in there and she wants to do things differently. And Venus rules relationships and wealth. Again, all this energy, like let's interrupt these patterns. Let's look at relationship in another way. And then we'll have the new moon in Aquarius, which will be there's a stellium, so there's all these planets lining up at this new moon, seeding in even more. This is a moment to harness the energy and feel into how you can do it differently. What needs to innovate in your world? What problems are you going to have an opportunity right now to solve in a new way? Think about the future. Try to open your mind during Aquarius energies like this and project forwards to tap into the new trends, you know, the new ways of doing things. Like, you can see this is playing out already with situations like what's happened with the Reddit community that basically annihilated a hedge fund. You go and check it out if you haven't heard about it. It's very interesting. It's a moment where just everyday people came together and bought out and changed the value of certain stocks. I'm sorry, I don't fully understand it, but I get the concept. You know, it's this, wow, the power to the people, humanitarianism. It's so exciting. But I mean, I will talk more about that. But for now, for you in your life, just look at your problems in a different way. Open up. Is there another way that you can solve it? Is there something that you can feel about the future that will help you move this story forwards and not get stuck in this moment? We are living through a turn of the ages. Absolutely. We're going from very earthbound, heavy, structural dynamics that, you know, it's been all about the earth. It's been all about manipulating the material realm, and now we're going into air. And that was the big solstice Saturn Jupiter conjunction activated a 200-year cycle of this culture changing configuration in air signs. So we're going to be thinking about everything to do with ideas, thoughts, data, technology, information. So it's going to be really interesting. So open yourself to that. I'll just finish off by saying, don't resist these changes. If you resist it, you'll miss the magic. You'll miss the ways for you to adapt and, work with it. So open yourself to this and embrace it as much as you can. And if you want to work with lunar phases, the new moon coming up in just over a week is extraordinary. It's an opportunity to really seed into the matrix, something very different, not made up. Don't reach for aspirations through the ego. Listen to your soul, feel what's true, and go for it. So I wish you well, enjoy this season, and I'll see you soon.